What's up, everyone? This is the Next Tape Podcast, episode 140 with Mikel and
Tanyka.
where we have conversations on different topics. So, on today's episode, we're going to do a 3 topics.
No,
Oh,
we're doing the
not 3
Halloween
topics.
series.
Oh, we're heading to Halloween.
Yes, we are.
My bad, guys. So we're heading to Halloween on this episode, and happy Halloween for the whole entire month.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing our Halloween series, so stay tuned for more of these types of episodes, and Tanyka will take it from here.
Okay. So we're starting our Halloween series, our second annual Halloween series, with superstitions. So that's what we're going to be talking about. This is going to be, a little fun, a little dark, but nothing too crazy. We're going to, very nicely slide into some darker topics as we go, but we're going to start light with
And
superstitions.
yeah, it's a theme song in the background, so
What theme song? Very superstitious?
it's going to be added in the episode. Yeah, it's
okay.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's
I
very
don't know if you're trying to say
theme.
like we're playing Stevie Wonder or something in the background.
Oh,
I'm
no,
like,
no,
we
no,
can't
no.
afford that.
No, not Stevie Wonder. Like, a little
I
scary
can
things.
sing. I could sing it. Very superstitious. Yeah.
Oh.
Writing on the wall. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So before we go into it, Mikel, do
Mm-hmm.
you see yourself as superstitious, whether that's a little superstitious, fairly superstitious, not at all? Like, where do you land on that?
I don't think I'm as superstitious when I was a kid. Yeah, obviously, but not as much. I would say maybe because I stop. Well, I shouldn't stop imagining stuff, but yeah, that's what I feel. So or think. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, for me, in terms of whether or not I am or whatever, but I wouldn't say like I'm overly superstitious. I wouldn't even say like I would say maybe as a kid, yeah, I was a little bit more like don't go near black cats and don't step over the cracks in the sidewalk. Like, yeah, like that
Right.
that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And your next door neighbor is some creep or something, or like he killed.
That's a different type of superstition.
Yeah,
That's not
there
a
was a
typical superstition.
story. There was a story. Don't go to that house over there. Yeah, he
Yeah.
killed so
That
many.
wouldn't be so much a superstition.
Yeah,
That would be more of like a like a weird omen.
yeah.
That's be kind of more what that would be. Not so much a superstition. But
Yeah. But you see those like signs on the house, like don't come in this, don't come in this house, don't come in this way, don't come. I'm knocking on my door. You kind of wonder why. It's just like, is it
I
true?
haven't really seen that too much.
Oh, I seen that. I seen signs on people's houses that
I mean,
say,
we have a sign on our door that says like no solicitors and that kind of thing. Because like you just you know we don't like people.
I mean, like written,
Right.
not like I mean written. Is it written on? Is it written on? Like like
No, it's a sign.
yeah. See, like, and I seen like a couple, and when I was like a kid, I seen signs like that, like don't come in or else, and just like, oh, you kind of believe it from like the other kids that said, oh, this person has killed this and that. Like, oh, no, I don't want to be around that person. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, it turns out to be when you get like older and you told from like probably adults, they tell you like, oh, yeah, it's not true. If it was true, that person would be like, or locked up. So like,
Well,
yeah,
if they have proof.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But yeah, like in terms of superstitions, like for me, I think like
Hmm.
maybe the only thing that I still kind of
Hmm.
do, like I literally probably just did yesterday, was knocking on wood. I don't play with that. Listen, I'm knocking on wood. It may be so stupid, but
Hmm. Hmm.
I still do that. So that's probably like the one thing for me that I'm pretty superstitious about still. Um, I don't believe like on all the other stuff, like even like some more harmless type superstitions, like,
Hmm.
you know, you can't see like your partner before getting married. That's bad luck.
Hmm.
You can't like, that kind of thing. It's like, I don't care about that. Like
Hmm.
that seems stupid. But like, yes, the superstition can be just as like harmless as something like that.
Right, right,
But
right.
I'm not really overly superstitious, but yes, do I knock on wood still? Absolutely. I do. And if you
Do,
don't find the wood, you knock your head instead. Yes.
do you ever hear like, creepy, like, when it comes to your ceilings or your flooring crackling and every single now and then? Like
Like,
you
do you
hear that?
hear it?
Yeah.
And there's no reason for it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that can happen, and
Yeah.
it's usually just the house is settling. That's
Or,
all.
or there's a ghost.
No,
Stopping
no.
on me. Stopping
I
on
guess
me.
the other thing too, now we kind of bring up the ghost thing. The
Uh,
other thing too that I'm probably superstitious about is
uh-huh.
that's not I mean, I guess it would be considered superstition.
Mhm.
Um would be like 3 p.m. Or not 3 but 3 a.m. when like the veil is lowered and the ghosties are coming out and
Mhm.
you're more susceptible to things.
Mhm. Mhm.
That is why, like, this will kind of go probably hand in hand a little more with when we talk about the sleep paralysis, which I think is at the end of the month.
Right.
Um, and I have talked about this before. For me, it's not even so much like a superstition, but it's routine. I cannot sleep with my door open. I can't sleep with my door cracked. My door needs to be shut
Yeah.
completely.
Has it ever
I
has it ever closed on you like by itself?
No, 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 no.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
For me,
Uh-huh.
it's more about I do not want to look outside at the hallway. I can't do it. I love darkness. Don't get me wrong. I love
Mhm.
the dark,
Mhm. Mhm.
but I can't like my hallway isn't really dark though. My hallway has a little bit of lighting, so in case you need to go like to the bathroom or whatever, you can see where you're going.
Mhm.
But I it's the feeling of feeling like someone can see me, someone's watching me, and there's no one
Right.
there. Like, I can't I can't the idea of it, like,
Mhm.
I remember, like, my mom would kind of especially when she's kinda dealt with stuff, or even me when I've dealt with stuff, like, with my kidney
Mhm.
stones and
Mhm.
my
Mhm.
gallbladder
Mhm.
situation and stuff like that. Even after my surgery, my mom has literally said, like, "Keep the door cracked in case you need to call me or whatever." I'm like, I'm not gonna need you that badly, trust me. Mm-mm. If I need you, I will scream. I'm not leaving this door open.
Right.
I'm just not doing it. Um, there's a reason why
Mhm.
I won't do it.
Mhm.
I'll save it for the sleep paralysis episode, but I am terrified of leaving my door open. That's why, like the other day, because I haven't moved fully into my place yet, especially with everything going on with my mom right now, so,
Right.
like,
Right.
staying home, but I did sleep over at my place, um, at one point, and I was I'm like, "This isn't this isn't gonna work. We're gonna have to have a conversation." Again, like I said, I love the darkness, I need it to be dark.
Mhm.
He left a light on in the hallway or outside the door.
Right.
Um, door was left open.
Mhm.
I'm like, this isn't gonna do. I need my door closed. I need the lights out.
Mhm.
I need that. And maybe I felt a little bit more comfortable because he's there. Maybe he can protect me from demons. I, I just need that. Or maybe I was just so tired that I'm like, whatever. So I fell asleep,
Mhm.
but I'm just, you know, this is not gonna work. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very ritualistic when it comes to how I sleep. So maybe that's a little
Mhm.
superstitions. I
Mhm.
don't know.
Mhm. Mhm.
But we'll save the rest of that conversation for sleep paralysis episode.
Right. Right.
Let's get into some of these superstitions,
Mhm.
see what we all kind of believe in.
Mhm.
Now, bear with me here. This is white on really not so great pictures, so I might struggle with some of the reading aspect of things, but
Right.
just bear with me here. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, um ir- so irrational as they may be, we all have a superstition or two. Whether it's a lucky pair of pants or an aversion to Friday the 13th. Okay, so that's another one. I'm not so bad now with Friday the 13th, but in
Mhm.
high school, yeah, I was like, screw Friday the 13th, because I'm sorry, when you have had things happen to you on Friday the 13th, I'm like, this real. Um,
Mhm.
and I do also think about the full moons, how the crazies come out. I believe in that because I'm sorry, you can't convince me otherwise. There are idiots out there when the full moon comes out. What is wrong with everybody? Anyways, anywho's, superstitions are important to us because they give meaning to the often random nature of luck and put us in the driving seat of our destiny. Here we run through the surprising cultural histories behind some of the world's most common supernatural beliefs. So, number one, the one I said that I still do, knocking on wood. So,
Mhm.
this kind of came from Indo European or Celtic or even possibly Britain. So, any list of superstitions would have to begin with arguably the most well known and universal superstition to knock on wood. The actual origins and even meanings of the phrase are as varied as the cultures which use it, with some suggesting roots in the Indo European or Celtic belief that spirits good and bad resided in trees and could be either called upon for protection or chased away by knocking on their home. And others, particularly Christians, linking the practice to the magical power of the wooden crucifix. Most likely among the different theories, historians have attributed the superstition to a 19th century British children's game called Tiki Touchwood, in which young players claimed immunity from being tagged by touching the nearest piece of wood. Kind of sounds like tag.
Mhm.
That's with a tag, or when you would like you could touch like something and then you can't tag someone in.
Right.
Kind of feels like that.
Right.
Um, Adults picked up on the habit and the phrase, the British still say touch wood today, and the rest is history. So,
Mhm.
as with many superstitions, there are subtle variations and sometimes not so subtle varying origins. Italians touch steel rather than wood, perhaps more related to iron horseshoes.
Mhm.
Poles and Russians touch unpainted wood.
Mhm.
Turks knock twice. Latin American knock on wood with no legs, so
Right.
chairs, for example.
Right.
Um, it's best to memorize them all before traveling, if just in case. You never know.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
the next one, throwing salt over your shoulder. So this could have derived from European Christian or ancient Roman. So
Mhm.
perhaps the next most common superstition, at least in the West, involves tossing salt over one's shoulder, like knocking on wood, as we just talked about. The superstition also involves the idea of warding off evil,
Mhm.
in this case, the devil himself. In
Right.
Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper, Jesus's betrayer, that Judas, that guy,
Mhm.
is portrayed as having accidentally spilled salt. Since Judas was associated with doing something bad, like
Mhm.
betraying Jesus, the argument goes that ipso facto, so a salt, and throwing it over your shoulder would blind the devil waiting there. Since in other versions of the superstition, Old Scratch, that sounds horrific, was thought to reside just over your left shoulder, ready to tempt you, I guess, with the salt, or that's why the salt was thrown to the left. Still, others say that the sheer value of salt alone in ancient times led to the belief that to spill it was to incur bad fortune, like among Romans, requiring a corresponding ritual or act of penance to prevent worse loss from occurring.
Mhm.
Next one, walking under a ladder. This was
Mhm.
definitely one that I did as a child and
Right.
probably still would do. I would not walk under a ladder.
Mhm.
So this started from European or Christian, possibly Egyptian. So the superstition of not wanting to walk under a ladder also has roots in Christian symbolism. The Holy Trinity of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit led to an association of the number 3 with something sacred. The
Mhm.
triangle with its 3 legs, or 3 sides, came to be regarded as sacred as well. And a ladder, of course, forms a triangle. So, naturally, to walk under the ladder would be to destroy the sanctity of the Trinity and thus incur punishment. Duh,
Mhm.
duh, duh.
Yeah.
The ladder's resemblance to a gallows, oh Jesus, also didn't help matters, nor did the fact of the obvious danger of something falling from it. Hence the gallows, usually that is used for hanging. Okay.
Right.
Finally, the Egyptians apparently thought that one might accidentally spot a god going up or down on a ladder and so avoided it. Must have been hard, I guess, building all those tall pyramids. Very difficult if you couldn't use or walk under a ladder. Anyways,
Mhm. Mhm.
next one, the broken mirror. This is one I
Mhm.
wouldn't mess with. So this started in ancient Greek or Roman or European, etc. I think a lot of cultures definitely. This is superstition for a lot. But
Right.
anyway,
Right.
the belief that a broken mirror brings bad luck most likely has its origins in the simple fact that reflections of ourselves are uncanny and often unnerving, particularly on a bad hair day, So humans
Yeah.
have long had bad associations with them. Take, for example, the Greek myth of Narcissus, or the idea that a crack in a mirror would somehow break its charm or trap one's soul.
Mhm.
It was the ancient Romans, however, who contributed the notion that a broken mirror would bring 7 years of bad luck,
Bad luck. Yeah.
since it was believed that only poor health would cause a mirror to crack.
Mhm.
And the number 7 was seen by the Romans as the number of years required to complete a full life cycle of sickness and renewal. Side note, before we continue this paragraph, did you ever hear this is a superstition too, and I
Right.
only learned about it since watching 9 Day UK.
Right.
Anyways, did you ever hear if you cheers someone, I guess it doesn't have to be like your partner, it could be anybody, but when you cheer someone,
Mhm.
you have to cheers them while looking at them in the eyes, or you risk 7 years of bad sex. Have you heard that?
No, I never heard of that in
I
my whole
only
entire life.
I
No.
only ever started hearing this, maybe I think it might have been last season's
Mhm. Mhm.
or the last or season before that.
No.
It's the first time I heard this, and I'm like, "What?
No.
Never heard
No.
that in my entire life."
I'll tell you the ones I have heard. The ones I have heard is basically it's probably on your list too. Don't cross a black cat. You
Mhm,
get probably 7 years of bad luck or whatever or bad luck. Or don't
mhm.
uh, wear don't wear an umbrella or open an
Oh, an
umbrella
umbrella inside.
inside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I still don't do that. Actually,
yeah.
I'll be totally honest with you. I was still superstitious about that up until like my early
Mhm,
to mid 20s.
mhm,
Now I don't care. If I need to dry my umbrella, I'm opening my umbrella inside.
mhm, mhm,
So, oh well.
mhm,
But yeah, that I never heard. And I'll say, listen, I
mhm,
have cheersed people without looking them dead in their eyes.
mhm.
I think I've been fine. I'll say that.
Yeah, I never,
It's
yeah, I
just
never heard
I've
that.
just never heard that before. It's so crazy.
No,
Anyway,
no.
as a result, a broken mirror meant you
Mhm,
were headed toward a death spiral that might take 7 years to pull yourself out of.
mhm,
But then, those same Romans felt you could prevent that horrible outcome by gathering the broken pieces of the mirror and burying them by moonlight. So, should we really trust them about all of the bad luck stuff?
mhm,
Who knows? Anyway, next one.
mhm.
Step on a crack, break your mother's back.
Yeah, I heard that one so
Yep.
many times when I was. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this uh, started in African or European folklore. So this again, just bear with me because this is white on literally black and white. This is so stupid. Anyways,
Mhm, mhm,
another superstition involving something cracked or broken being associated with bad luck is the superstition of stepping on a crack as foretelling or even causing harm to a
mhm,
family member. As
mhm,
with mirrors, cracks in the earth, on a sidewalk, or almost anywhere have long been seen as portals to the realm of the supernatural for both good and ill. To
mhm,
step on those cracks might be to invite or release unwelcome spirits into the world ready to do one harm. Now, I don't know about you, but for
mhm.
me, I do know without even realizing it, I don't step over cracks and sidewalks. I just don't.
Uh,
Um,
I don't. Yeah, I don't. I never realized it. If I do, I do.
yeah,
It's like it
I
happens.
I'll just walk normally, not really thinking about anything about
Mhm,
like in
mhm.
that sense, but then I'll notice I'm avoiding the cracks in the sidewalk. I, I'm
I
just, I don't even realize. I used to do that as a child. I would avoid the cracks on the sidewalk. Not because I thought I was going to break my mother's back or something. There was something about the cracks on the sidewalk. I didn't like, look, no, I'm good. I, I don't know why I was like that, but I just didn't like it. And I do
yeah.
notice like I still kind of do it without realizing I'm
Mhm,
doing it.
mhm. That superstition is in a lot of like movies or a lot of
Hmm.
books. I notice
Hmm.
or been rhymed
Yeah,
in a lot of books as well.
yeah,
So yeah. It's a very popular superstition to be
yeah,
fair.
yeah.
Uh, so yeah, yeah.
All right, the next one. This one's a little nicer, not too spooky or anything. So, lucky pennies. This got started in ancient Roman,
Mhm,
English,
mhm,
American. So, the idea that finding a penny would bring good luck also originates in folk beliefs. In this case, based on the idea that metal, regarded by many ancient
mhm,
cultures as quite valuable, was sent by the gods to protect those whom they favored. So we all know, we all done it. When you saw, we don't see them now. Pennies are
mhm,
not a thing anymore. But
mhm.
if you saw a penny on the ground, would you or would you not pick that penny up and say, I have a lucky penny? I did.
When I
I,
was a kid,
when I was a kid,
yes.
yes.
Now
Well, now,
you
no,
you,
because
you
there's no
you start
pennies
to
around. Who has pennies?
yeah, you start to
Okay.
understand.
If I
Understand
found a penny on the
yeah.
ground right now,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go get a lottery ticket. But as a kid, yeah, when you would find a penny on the ground, yeah, that was more
Mm,
common
mm.
because there were pennies. We don't have pennies
Yeah.
anymore.
As
So
as an adult, I look at a penny and just like, What is this?" Huh? I'll throw it. Yeah, throw it away.
I haven't seen pennies.
Yeah,
I don't,
quarter are a different story. I was like,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
okay."
But it wasn't supposed
Mhm,
to be about that. It's about the fact that this thing brings you luck. And um, obviously now
mhm.
we don't see pennies. Pennies
Yeah,
have been out
yeah,
of, pennies haven't
yeah,
been a thing for like 20-ish
yeah.
years now. So
It's
I
20
don't really see pennies.
or is it 20? 10 years. Hmm.
Oh,
It's
it's
wrong
been a
years.
long time since I was a
It
kid,
feels 10 years.
like
It feels 10
early or
years.
like early teens.
Mm.
It's been a long time since we haven't
Yeah,
had the
yeah,
penny.
yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
we don't see pennies anymore. Definitely do not see pennies. Like I think pennies ended at least when I started high school.
Hmm.
So no, but there's no pennies anymore. So to find a penny under those circumstances, I'm buying a lottery ticket. That is some luck.
Mm.
Anyways, um,
20.
so
Hmm.
where was I here? So pennies being made from the metal, find them and you'll have good fortune, but be careful. Some say the luck could break either way, and that if
Hmm.
you find a penny tails up, you should turn it over and leave it for the next person, or you'll actually have bad luck. So it did
Mm.
get a little dark at the end there. Next
Mm.
one, lucky horseshoe. So
Yeah, yeah,
another object commonly thought to be lucky is the horseshoe.
yeah.
Earliest origins of the horseshoe's function as a good luck charm reside in
Mhm.
its vulval shape. So obviously we know the shape of the horseshoe, seen upside down, and the invocation of the pagan moon goddess Diana and her sacred
Yeah.
vulva.
That's another popular one, the lucky horseshoe. Yeah.
Yeah.
That that's also a symbol for isn't St. Patrick's Day as well? I believe
No, that's the clover,
a clover.
the four-leaf
I thought
clover.
the clover and the horseshoe was both.
Not so much the
Okay.
horseshoe.
Okay.
Um, that's not so much, unless it is, it maybe can, because it is
Hmm.
Celtic, so it very well could be.
Hmm.
But I think in more modern day, it's it's the four-leaf clover, which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
also
yeah,
another
yeah, yeah,
thing no one ever sees. No
yeah.
one sees four-leaf clovers. Um, as with pennies, metal being seen as both valuable and magical, iron in particular was thought by early Europeans as something capable of warding off evil spirits.
Hmm.
And as with the Romans and the lucky number seven, horseshoes frequently featured seven nail holes. The most famous story of a horseshoe bringing good luck, however, refers to the story of Saint Dunstan, who apparently worked as a blacksmith prior to attaining sainthood. The story goes that one day the devil rode into Dunstan's shop requesting new shoes for his horse. Dunstan, recognizing the devil, played it off by nonchalantly and rather than nailing the shoes to the horse, nailed one to the devil's foot instead. In
Right.
agony, the devil agreed never to enter a house with the
Hmm.
horseshoe nailed above the door if
Hmm.
Dunstan would simply agree to remove the shoe. Next one, Friday the 13th.
Yeah, that's a popular one too.
Mhm. Like the number seven for the Romans, magical significance has been attached to the number 13, but this time it's unlucky rather than lucky. The
Hmm.
number 12 has frequently been seen as positive, 12 months of the year, and 12 signs of the zodiac, for example, or 12 days of Christmas, and 12 tribes of Israel,
Hmm.
naturally making its nearest neighboring number to the north negative.
Hmm.
Like other superstitions surrounding the Last Supper, the
Uh,
13th is also seen as unlucky because once again, the great betrayer, Judas, that guy, was the 13th member of the dinner party that led to Christ's crucifixion. Dude couldn't catch a break. In addition, on Friday the 13th of October 1307, King Philip the, here we go with the Roman numbers. Can
hmm.
you search IV for me, please? Um,
IV.
IV.
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
Then that must be either
Maybe it's six. Maybe
four.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Four. It's
Four?
four.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
I
IV.
was,
Yeah,
listen, I flipped it. I flipped it the other way. I'm getting it.
yeah,
I'm gonna get it.
yeah, yeah.
So King Philip the Fourth of France arrested and put to death hundreds of the Templar Knights.
Mm.
So, yeah. But
Yeah, I feel like as an adult, I have that. I still have that superstition. That's one. So that's the only one
Yeah,
superstition
I love
because
it.
like there'll be at times where the calendar falls on Friday the 13th,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I'm not gonna have a bad day. Every single time it falls on Friday the 13th, I'm thinking I'm not gonna have a bad day. And sometimes I do have bad days on that day.
Mhm.
Sometimes, and yeah, it
I
happens.
I will say, like I said before, like I'm not as like afraid of Friday the 13th now as an adult as I was maybe in my early 20s.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's not as like crazy of a thing for me anymore. But I
You don't
will
think?
notice though, like if you ever notice, if anyone listening ever enters into like a building, now I can't speak to other office buildings in other cities,
Mhm.
but at least in Toronto, some of the bigger buildings like First Canadian Place, Scotia Plaza, or TD, or any of those, you'll notice there is never a 13th floor. There is never a 13th floor.
Yeah, a lot of
It's
apartments still have 13th
crazy.
floor. It goes from 12 to
To
14,
14.
which
My
is
office
odd.
building has a 13th floor
I wonder why. I
because
wonder
of
why.
superstition. People are
It's a
afraid of number
superstition.
13.
Mm,
That's why. It's crazy.
mm,
It's crazy.
yeah, interesting. Huh?
All right, another one that Mikhail did mention previously as well, black
Mm,
cats.
mm, yep.
Though cats have often been associated with good luck rather than its opposite, and were even worshipped as gods in ancient Egypt, things took a turn for the worse for our dark-colored feline friends. Again, I'm struggling with the writing here, so bear with me. Sometime around the Dark Ages, when in 1232 AD, a papal bull by Pope Gregory, okay, I think it's the ninth, IX, I think that's the ninth, I think, or maybe it's the 11th, I don't freaking know, declared them an incarnation of Satan. Because if we think about it, witches, their familiars were usually cats, black
Mhm.
cats at that. According to People magazine, this is what it said that. So things only went downhill for black cats from there, with people of the Middle Ages burning them in bonfires on holy days like Shrove Tuesday, the first Sunday of Lent, and even Easter, and with the Puritans in America connecting them to the practice of witchcraft. Screw you all. We don't deserve black cats. This is stupid. Um, Also, the color black has long been associated with evil and death, which
Yeah.
didn't help matters for our furry friends who had the misfortune of being born the color of night.
Mm, mm, yeah.
It just seems like we're being racist towards black cats. Seriously. Anyways,
Uh,
number 10.
and the color black too. It's just,
Yes.
yeah. Go ahead.
Fingers crossed. This is one I still do. This
Mhm.
is one I still do. So the superstition of crossing one's fingers, bringing the lucky finger crosser. Good luck comes from pre-Christian pagan times in Western Europe, when the practice of making a cross with your own and the index finger of another person was, though, to concentrate the forces of good spirits and to seal a pact or a wish with the fellow crosser.
I
Over
know.
time, hmm?
I never did that unless
You
I
never did
was
that?
Halloween. Unless I was in a Halloween or joking about it or joking about something. Otherwise, yeah,
But
no,
you never like did like
like that.
when you're
Yeah,
crossing fingers with somebody to
yeah.
kind of be like, you know, you never done that, or even just done crossing your
It,
own fingers
it did
behind.
it, but like I didn't believe in the superstition, but like I just did it
Mhm.
as a joke or something like
Okay,
that. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, like, I'm not saying I did it as a joke. I'm saying I did seriously.
Oh, you did it. You
Yes.
did it numerous of times.
Oh yeah, I still
Oh,
do. I still do.
wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Um. So over time, people realized they could simply bless their own wishes by crossing first their two index fingers and then later simply the index and middle fingers of one hand, which is what we do today. Another narrative pins the practice on early Christians who would greet and identify one another in secret with various symbols like crossing the index fingers, touching thumbs, etc. Though this explanation doesn't have the virtue of accounting for the association with good luck. Number 11, chewing gum at night. This is one I have not heard of. This one apparently comes from Turkey. So,
Yeah, I think I heard something like that in the past.
okay. So, have you ever had an irrational fear of accidentally consuming dead flesh? No.
Mm.
Well, in Turkey, it is thought that after dark, chewing gum is magically transformed, like the Mowgli in the movie Gremlins. I so said that badly. Who turn into the titular monsters if they eat after midnight into the flesh of the dead.
Mm.
That is disgusting. Okay, but that's that. Next one.
Mm-hmm.
The number of 4. The number of 4. So this apparently
Oh,
comes in China. This comes from China. So
China.
um as
Mm.
we've seen with numbers like 13 and 7,
Yeah, yeah.
numbers are frequently assigned different magical significance or status depending on the culture in question. So for the Chinese, the number 4 is a no-no due to the similarity in its pronunciation in
Interesting.
Chinese to the word for death. I think
Huh.
I've heard this before. I think I've heard that before.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised it's not 6,
Why?
not 4, because
Why?
666 is
But
just
it's not about that.
more. Okay.
It's not about that. As I just mentioned, it's because it closely sounds like the word death that's translated in so for in Chinese,
Doesn't?
which is not a language. In Chinese, it is the number 4 sounds very similar to the word death. That's
Hmm.
why. That's why.
Okay.
So that's the part we have to remember about that. It's because of that.
Mm.
So this next one, this might be getting partly cut off because I kid you not, because of this, the where I got this from was like this art, um, and it has like the writing on top of the art.
Mm-hmm.
It is literally white and like the sky, which is also kind of white. So I think part of this might have gotten cut off and I can't see it all. But anyways, love letters to Juliet. So this is part of that. So Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet.
Huh?
Um, I think it says the male member of the doomed pair of lovers
What?
bear with me here, was known to frequent the foot of Juliet's balcony in order to send up his nightly entries and missives of love. So this is from Italy too. Let's want to say that. At the
Okay.
Casa de Giulietta in Verona, Italy, where the Capuletti family supposedly lived, at Via Capello 23, visitors can write their own love letters to and even rub the right breasts of the nearby statue of Juliet. This is all done in hopes of earning her favor like the Romeo of long ago, even if the pair themselves were not so lucky. So if you think of like the movie Letters to
Mm-hmm.
Juliet, it sounds a lot like that. So this is actually something that happens in Verona. Right? Yeah.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
Huh.
Because for me, I mean, not to shit on Italians or anyone else who does this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, Romeo and Juliet were fictional characters. They do not exist.
I know. I know. The
So it
fish.
just seems really weird that we're writing letters to a non-existent fictional character. But I digress. Do
I
what you
never.
want to do.
I never. Well, I never wrote one to. But yeah. Okay.
Do what you want to do. I don't
Mhm.
care really, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's just weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, Curse of the Evil Eye. This is one I think we all have
Yeah.
heard of this one too.
Yeah. That's in. That's in movies. That's
Mhm,
in, that's been, costumes
mhm,
everywhere. Yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
It's a common belief spanning the Mediterranean, Middle East, and South Asia that's been held for thousands of years that to achieve too much success would be to invite the anger or inspire the envy of the gods, who would then smite the unfortunate individual with a reversal of fortune. In response to the fear of the curse, people across the ancient Mediterranean began fashioning amulets and beads with an image of an evil eye, sometimes referred to as nazars, which
Yeah.
would then help ward off that horrible, untoward fate.
Hmm. Yeah. I'm surprised the Illuminati's not in this right now.
It's not a
So,
superstition.
oh,
It's not really a superstition. It's
well,
more of, I would say, more of a conspiracy.
seriously, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
So,
so it's not a superstition.
okay.
Um, tucking thumbs inside of so wait, tucking thumbs inside of a cemetery. This is in Japan, so let's see what they have to say here. Like the fear of the word for in China, hinging on the similarity in its pronunciation to the Chinese word for death, as we just talked about, Japanese similarly tuck in their thumbs when in a cemetery visiting the graves of dead relatives. This comes from the connection between the Japanese word for thumb and its meaning as the parent finger. To tuck in one's thumbs inside a cemetery, inside a cemetery, there we go, then is to protect one's parents from death.
Huh.
Interesting.
Like, like when the body's in the
So
in
when
the.
you're visiting a cemetery,
Uh-huh.
even if your relative is not yet buried or
Uh-huh.
like whatever, if you were in a cemetery at all at any point,
Mhm.
you would tuck your thumbs as to protect your family members. It's kind of like, I don't think I talk about it here, but it's kind of like in westernized way of
Right.
thinking,
Right.
holding your breath when passing a cemetery.
Mhm.
And I
Okay.
believe the superstition around holding your breath
Hmm.
is so that a spirit doesn't follow you home.
Right.
So it's
Right.
kind
Okay.
of
Yeah.
similar to yes to that.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Um, so the next one, giving yellow flowers. This is more in Russia. So, like numbers, colors have frequently been assigned symbolic significance, like black being seen as the color of bad luck and red the color of passion. In Russia, yellow flowers in particular are seen as problematic, as they are
Mhm.
thought to represent infidelity, separation, or even death.
Mm.
So let's not give yellow flowers.
Yeah. I never heard of the yellow flowers.
No, I haven't
I know
either.
that usually is for. Well, not actually. The yellow flowers are
There are
usually the
certain
sign of
flowers that
usually
are
sign for help
significant to
or something
death.
like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
there are certain flowers. I can't remember which one it is. Um, but there are certain flowers that you would use at like funerals, like
Yeah.
other funeral flowers.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I just can't remember which ones those are.
Obviously, yeah. Obviously, the black one is which that has to be studied. Like the
Black
history.
is, I
Yeah,
don't think
for
black is an
death.
actual natural color of flowers.
Yeah.
That's something that's dyed.
Y- Yeah.
It's so that it's not that though. Like one of the flowers I'm thinking, it was a very pretty color.
Hmm.
It might have even been a yellow. I can't remember. And like if you remember, like in Wedding Planner, that scene where they're looking for flowers, and the fact that I remember the character's name means I've watched this movie way too much. But when Steve, aka Matthew McConaughey,
Hmm.
is looking at flowers, um, Jennifer Lopez is kind of like, yeah, it's a very pretty flower if it's for like a funeral, because it's a funeral flower. But it was a very pretty flower. It it just signifies funerals. That's it.
Hmm.
So
I feel like
yeah.
the color black for I understand that could mean darkness and all that stuff has
Mhm.
to be studied for evil. I don't like that. It's
No,
just
I mean,
yeah, well,
no,
I understand. I understand. Like it's a color of darkness, and
I
I
don't see anything wrong
I
with
would
that.
prefer more gray, right? Gray, it feels more, you know, I feel like a more of a dark theme type of color than that's in my opinion than black. But I understand why people say black is dark,
It
and
is dark because
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah,
is dark.
yeah,
Black is dark, like,
yeah.
so yeah, but I think that's why, like, even, like, with funerals, it was kind of the thing, you wear black to funerals. That is not as much of a thing anymore. People
Yeah.
don't really wear black to funerals, and unfortunately, having had to
Mm.
attend many funerals in the last 5 years, um, it's you actually feel out of place when you're wearing all black.
Mhm.
'Cause I've worn all black because it's hard for me to picture wearing anything else. Because that's what I've been told, you wear black to funerals, like, when you were a kid, but it's just not a thing anymore. You can wear,
Mm.
you know as long as it's not, like, a crazy color, um, and when
Mhm.
I think about, like, my aunt who has now
Mhm.
passed on, who, when she wore pink to my great-grandmother's funeral because she
Right,
refused to wear black,
right.
um but back
Mm.
then, like, we're talking that was almost more than 20 years ago now, it was 23 years ago.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
That was taboo to have someone coming in not wearing black.
Right.
Now, it's just, like, it's not as much of a thing, but, like, I remember when my aunt walked in that pink suit,
Mhm.
saying pink suit and white shirt underneath, that she refused to wear black, and everyone's just kind of, like, staring at her like, "What are you doing?" But,
Mm.
she also hated funerals, so
Right.
when she died, she didn't have a funeral. She didn't want it, but, that's a whole other situation, but, yeah, it's just black is naturally dark, but
Mm, mm.
it's okay.
Okay. Yeah,
I like
alright.
black, it's fine. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with black.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's nothing wrong with black either. Right.
Alright, next one. Sweeping feet. This one is a South American one, so I think this is one that we don't really hear much about. So,
Mhm,
if you
mhm,
happen to be on a cleaning spree, in Brazil, you will want to steer clear of brooms, or at least be careful. South Americans believe that if your feet are swept over by a broom, you will remain single for the rest of your life. The
mhm,
curse can be broken if you immediately spit on the broom. Patui, how dare thee? The exact origins of the superstition are unknown, but legend
mhm,
has it that a woman who cannot keep house is not a good wife, make. Sounds very
huh,
misogynistic, but anyways.
huh,
Next one, itchy palms. Depending, this is Caribbean, by the way. Depending which palm of yours begins to itch, you may find yourself in the Caribbean with a bit of extra spending money or in the red. I've heard
huh,
this. It is a common belief that an itchy left palm means you will owe money soon, whereas an itchy right palm means money is coming your way. Now, my right palm needs to start itching. There is an explanation that might tell us why such a distinction. The left hand seems to hold passive energy, and the right hand active energy, which symbolically could explain the coming in and out of money. Now,
right.
I have heard that one, but the one that I've heard the most, especially in, like, with Jamaica, I can't speak on other Caribbean countries or anywhere else,
Mhm,
but, um, I have always been told, "Don't put your purse on the floor, because when you put your purse on the floor,
mhm,
money leaves your purse." Hypothetically,
mhm.
you lose money when you put your purse on the floor.
Yeah, I never heard of that one.
Really? You should ask your
No.
mom about it. You should ask your mom about it,
Mhm,
because I bet she knows about it. Obviously, it's a purse, so
Mhm.
that's I don't imagine you would know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But, yeah, that's one I've heard. My mom told me that when I was little.
Mhm,
That's one I've heard. So, like, even I mean, my purse, I feel like my purse being on the floor at in my home is
mhm,
different because my purse does sit on the floor at home. I feel like that's different, though. I feel like when you're putting your purse out in public on the floor, then
mhm,
yes, your purse is you don't lose money. You don't wanna lose money. My purse never touches ever touches the ground, ever. So I guess that's kinda something that I do as well, but I think partially I do because, "Ew, why should I put my purse on the floor? That's disgusting."
mhm.
Secondly, I do think in the back of my mind about that, I don't wanna lose money, so I'm not gonna put my purse on the floor. So,
Mm.
but anyways, that is superstitions. Now there's so many more, like, we talked about the umbrella one,
Yeah.
um, very briefly, but, like, there's so many, the but, like, that was kind of,
I don't know if this is a superstition or it is true.
mhm.
The Ouija board. I avoid that board. I 100%
Um,
avoid it.
no, thank you. No, thanks. No.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
no, listen, that's not even so much of a superstition.
Uh-huh.
It's more oh, maybe there's a little bit of superstition involved in that.
Mhm.
There's a little bit of, the paranormal aspect to that,
Yeah, yeah.
where it's like, if you can't mess with the Ouija board,
Uh-huh.
you're gonna mess with the Ouija board, you're opening yourself up not only to um, the spirit realm, but you're
Mhm.
also opening yourself up to demonic forces as well. And
Yeah.
if you don't like close that out properly,
Mhm.
you're leaving this portal open. Um, um, do I believe that can happen?
Mhm.
Yes, I do. I do
Mhm.
believe that that
Mhm.
can happen. Even if I didn't believe that can happen, I'm not messing
Mhm.
with it. I'm not taking a chance.
Yeah, that's like
No, thank you.
that's the number one. That's I avoid that, you know.
Absolutely.
Avoid. So
We should talk about that in Halloween series next time. Ouija boards.
yeah, no,
We might
no.
talk a little
I,
bit about Ouija boards in the
I don't.
exorcism episode because at least with like, okay, so when you think about like The Exorcist, for example, obviously that is a
Yeah,
movie, but
yeah.
it is based on true events.
Mm,
And it's based on the fact of in that case, it was a boy,
mhm,
um, who had messed with the Ouija board
mhm,
and trying to get in contact with his aunt who got him into Ouija boards in the first place. But then he may or may not have opened himself up to a demonic force, whether you believe in that or not. Um, so we might talk about Ouija boards very briefly in that sense. But I think, listen, we can talk about Ouija boards as long as we're not using one. I'm okay with that.
mm,
I can
mm,
talk about them. I just won't play with them. I'm not trying to mess my world up. Please.
yes, mm.
But I'll talk about them.
Okay.
So
All right.
we'll do that in a future episode.
All right. Okay. So this ends this theme Halloween series episode of the Next Tape podcast. Episode one
One,
is 41, I believe.
I think. Hold on, I'm
41.
pulling it
Yeah,
up.
140.
140.
140. Yeah, there we go. 140. My bad, guys. Of the Next Tape podcast. The Next Tape podcast is available now all podcast platforms. We also have a website called Tanika.
Next day podcast, podpage.io.
And where else we at?
Facebook and Instagram on Next Take Podcast, and Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky and Next Take Pod.
And you can contact us at our email at mikeltanika@gmail.com. That is mikeltanika@gmail.com. So yeah, we this is a Halloween series episode based on superstition,
Mm-hmm. Superstitions,
and
yep.
yeah, we Tanika had a list of them, and hopefully you guys enjoyed that episode, and there will be more to come. I don't know which is the next theme that's coming up after this, Tanika.
The next one we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about cryptids. So we're going to be talking about some of those. There is one in particular that we're going to probably dive a little deeper on. I won't say which one. I won't say which one. But we will be diving a little deeper on that because there is a case associated with that particular cryptid. I'm sure, again, true crime fans probably can guess which one I'm talking about.
Right. Okay.
So that's our next one. That'll be next week.
All right. Okay. All right. So that's it for this episode. So I'm Mikel, and
I'm Tanyka.
We're out until
next week.
Peace, guys.
Bye.